Hey, what's up everybody? We're just getting set up on another job. So I got a call from a homeowner who's local to us. We're here in Rockland. He did his own shower. It wasn't draining properly. Shower pan wasn't sloped correctly. He also used the Vevor system. I'm not too familiar with it. I don't know what Vevor is, if it's a tile company. I think they sell all sorts of things. I think they sell like, kind of like Harbor Freight stuff, you know? Things made in China shipped over here, but I haven't heard good things about the Vevor tile stuff, and I think it's just basically a Curdy knockoff. So that's what he used. We're gonna go check it out and hopefully use this as a teaching moment to help you guys avoid these mistakes as you're doing your bathroom remodels. So have you actually used the shower at all?
No.
Yeah, okay. So
we just turned it on for 2 minutes and realized that it wasn't working, and panicked and called you guys.
So yeah, so I kind of noticed that right away. I put the little torpedo level on there and noticed that we have, the slope is going the wrong way at the drain. So obviously there's going to be a puddle there. Mm-hmm. And there's a few other issues, things that I see. Most of it's cosmetic, but there are a few functional things that I am concerned about. Mm-hmm. Of course, appearance is important, but even more important is the functionality of it. We need it to be waterproof correctly and all that stuff. Just off first glance, before I tore anything out, I noticed that our pony wall is actually sloped the wrong way. So we got our slope going this way, and so if you get a shower door on here and this gets wet, same thing, you end up with a puddle. That silicone's gonna get nasty and moldy. Mm-hmm. And then also on the curb, there's parts of the curb that are sloped the wrong way. Okay. And that's probably more concerning because that area gets a lot of water. That's going to get a ton of water, and you're always going to deal with a puddle in that area. And puddles aren't good in showers. Yeah. So those are kind of the functional things. There's a lot of cosmetics, like I talked about. We don't have any trim on the tiles. Mm-hmm. Typically we'll use a Jolly trim or a Schluter edge profile to cover up the raw edge of the tile. And I can see the the barcode on the end of the tiles and stuff. So that's just the cosmetic things that could be done better. Some of these grout joints are pretty big. You're pushing 1/2 inch on this grout joint, and then some of the stuff around the soap dish is more than 3/4. Mm-hmm. So we want to keep those. I believe the permacolor grout can go up to 1/2 inch. But we're looking for consistency. If you have a 1/8 inch or 3/16 joint up here, you want all of your joints to be within, maybe a 32nd to a 16th of that. So mm-hmm. the inconsistencies kind of give it a cosmetically up, looks like a pretty rough job. My main concern is to see if we can get this thing repaired and functional. And then the cosmetic stuff, if you ever want to change that, you can do that. I want to get in and dig into it a little bit and see, what can be saved and, what can be repaired. So yeah, let us get in here and pop some tiles off. And then after we get that done, I'll have you back in here and we'll go over all the stuff that we need to go over. So come on over here, right?
Come close.
Yeah, let's go. So yikes. It's a little worse than I thought. Yeah, when I initially came out here, I didn't put a level on anything. I was just looking at,
check a look, yeah.
Yeah, I was just checking the pan, and
it takes some balls for him to do that.
Yeah,
I would like.
Yeah, it's really cool of Eric to have us out here and help him. So I'm gonna try to do him a solid here. But yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to save this, man. It's like.
Well, he wants this kind of fixed to look better, but in order to
and then he already ordered glass, so he also ordered glass for this whole thing. And so if we start messing with anything, it's going to throw it off. It's custom glass. Measured? Yeah, they measured for heavy glass. Because again, the Vevor system I'm not familiar with.
Okay. It's a foam system?
I believe so.
And we can't damage that?
Well, we'd have to take it out anyways. I know the pan we'd have to take out. So. Oh, wow. Yeah, so just one hammer hit and this tile broke bond. So yeah, that's barely barely stuck down. Check this out. So I don't know how long ago this was installed, but check this out. That's mastic that's not even dry. And so, I mean, I came out here I think 3 weeks ago. So it's at least been 3 weeks. Yeah, it's mastic. It's type 1 mastic. So I've talked about it in videos before that you don't want to use mastic in a wet area. And porcelain tiles don't do well with mastic anyways, because it just doesn't dry. It takes so long to cure. Okay for wall tiles in a dry area, but you want to use thin set mortar when you're putting showers in wet areas. Thin set mortar. So that's why these just come up. So it looks like the Vevor is some kind of Curdy membrane type system. Familiar with how these drains work, but yeah, these tiles should just pop right out. They're still wet. Makes for easy demo. Looks like you maybe used a 1/4 inch notch trowel. That was probably part of the problem too. Yeah, again, look at that. It's just all wet still. Yeah, these tiles would have ended up popping up, and I'm interested to see how this Vevor system works. So there's the foam pan. If you guys are familiar with this, maybe leave it in the comments. It looks like, you know, it's a Curdy, but check this out. There's like literally no, look how easy that peels up, and there's no, so these must come membrane attached to the foam. Here's the foam down here. That's the foam. But look how easy the membrane peels off the foam. Yeah, what a joke. Well, at least when people ask me about Vevor, I can give them some honest feedback. This is the first one I've run into. Almost feels like the drain's just kind of free floating in there too. Whoa. So yeah, it looks like it just comes out maybe. So yeah, there's just kind of, so there's a clamping. You know, it almost looks like he used the wrong drain. I don't think this is this doesn't say Vevor on it. I think this is a standard 3-piece drain. Oh man, yeah, this would have been big trouble. There's no waterproofing, because the Vevor, that's why they have this circle. So it's supposed to be like a Curdy system. See, here's the cutout for a bonding flange drain. He's got it way off center, but that's not important. So yeah, this is supposed to be like a Curdy system, and that's why this indention, I was noticing this indention, I'm going, why would they have that? But it's supposed to be just like a Curdy pan. I guess this is just like a Curdy knockoff. So a bonding flange drain would go in there, and if you don't know what a bonding flange drain is, I'll put a link in the description below. We sell them. We sell a FLoFX. But it would be a whole flange that would take up this whole area. So he just scabbed in some deck mud here. That's deck mud, but this should be a bonding flange drain that takes up this whole circle, and then another collar of membrane would go over in this recessed area, and they recess it so that you don't end up with, you know, height differences. But instead of using a bonding flange drain, he used a 3-piece clamping drain for like a pan liner, like a, you know, traditional style weep. And there's no waterproofing. He literally just put, stuck a drain in. So this would have been leaking big time if he let this go. So that might be a blessing in disguise, that this job was so bad that he had to call me to come out here, because if the tile was somewhat draining and he paid all that money to put the glass on. They probably would have left this. They probably would have just left it as is. Water would have just seeped under. Then we would have got this exterior wall. You know, the water would have went up, rotted everything out. You got stucco repair, bedroom over here. You'd have mold issues. All in all, it would be a nightmare because literally no waterproofing around the drain, which is the most important part. So. All right, so yeah, we got the deck mud all out from around the drain. This guy was, look, he got mastic. He just put mastic on there, and then these have a, so this is a, has the adjustment, the height screw, and then a rubber gasket, a rubber seal. And this doesn't have to be super watertight because there's supposed to be waterproofing. There's supposed to be a pan liner in here. So yeah, so that goes in there. Even though it's loose, it doesn't matter because the water's supposed to get down, go into these weep holes in this 3-piece drain and get out. So this seal is really, you know, doesn't really matter. But yeah, so this is supposed to have a pan liner in it. There's a three-piece clamping ring drain, but there's no pan liner. So this is probably the most common shower failure mistake that I see, is the confusion between an old 3-piece drain weep style system with a pan liner, which this drain is for, and combining it with a surface waterproofing like a Schluter, and they get them wrong. Yeah, he thought the Vevor was going to be waterproof, but he didn't have it tied into the drain. So if he would have put, this could have been a pan liner system, and then he would have had to do a mortar float and all that stuff. But these clamping rings are supposed to have a vinyl liner that comes over here. You put sealant in this caulk ring right here. See this caulk ring? That's what this ring is right here. And you put sealant in there, and then you put the pan liner over all the way to the edge right here. And you got to cut little holes for the screws for your pan liner to go in. Then this clamping ring goes on. You crank it down and it sandwiches this clamping ring into the bottom flange. Then you have a tight waterproof seal. Then this guy screws in. Then this guy goes in, and you're all good. And then as water gets down to the pan liner, it's pre-sloped and it drains, and see these little weep holes here? All these little holes right here allow the water to get down from underneath. So the waterproofing is down here, the tile is up here about 1 inch, and you got mortar in between. And these surface applied systems require a bonding flange drain and then waterproofing over that bonding flange. I think I'm going to stop here because I originally thought maybe we could do a 1-row repair on this, but there's so many issues with the slope and also cosmetically that I really don't trust. Besides this obvious stuff that I can see, the slope issues, you know, the shower is just not going to work well, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, and I'm probably gonna have to be brutally honest with them and be like, hey, if you went to go sell this house and people took a look at this, they would go, this is like a hack job, and it's probably wrong. And I know that's really harsh, but it's a rough tile job, and I feel bad for them. But I don't want to do a repair on this with all the other issues going on and walk away from it. I just won't feel good. So I don't know what we're gonna do. Maybe I can hook him up with a good price if he demos the whole thing, and you know, maybe we can come in and get him help, or maybe just prep it correctly and then give him some pointers and coach him through on the tile. So he's a cool dude. I really want to help him out, but doing a repair really isn't going to be helping anybody. So let's get him in here and we'll talk about it. Okay, Eric, so we did a little bit of digging into it, and the drain, we found out the drain, and this is kind of irrelevant because it's going to be torn out anyways, but for educational purposes, that clamping style drain is the wrong drain for that Vevor system.
Okay.
So when you bought that pan, they didn't sell a drain with it, or did they?
They had a drain cover, but because it didn't line up perfectly, I had to use something different because it was slightly offset.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I see. That's why you did it. But yeah, so basically there was no waterproofing at the drain connection.
Okay.
So it's really good that we didn't use it. Yeah, because then you would have been dealing with a whole other set of issues. So
okay.
Yeah, so that was wrong. At this point, Eric, and then the other thing is that I asked you about the thin set you used.
That was the type 1.
It was a type 1 mastic, so that's not intended to be used in wet areas. So when I pulled those tiles up, it was literally still wet.
Okay.
That it hadn't dried. So, so being the fact that the whole shower was set with mastic, your slope issues, I really recommend doing a complete replacement.
Okay.
I think that if you tried to do a repair, for one, I wouldn't feel real comfortable doing it because of what I've seen.
Okay.
But also, if you were ever to sell this house and somebody saw this work, it would probably be like a red flag. They'd probably be like, there's something wrong with it.
Okay.
And you might be able to live with the cosmetic things, but I would hate for it to like hold up the sale of a house or something.
Yeah.
So, I want to help you out though. I want to help you out however I can. So what I'm thinking is maybe you could demo everything, get everything out, and then I'll talk with Cornel with Revolutionary Shower Systems, see if he can donate the system, new foam pan, waterproofing, new board for the walls. I'll talk with Chase with FLoFX, see if he can donate us a new drain, so that we can get all of the supplies, and then maybe I can coach you through like the whole thing, and get it done right. Okay. How does that sound?
Sound good.
Sound good, yeah.
It'll be done the right way. I mean,
yeah, I'm.
At the end of the day,
these are always difficult conversations to have. You're definitely not the first one, and you won't be the last. But it's always tough when you have to make that call. You've done a lot of work. You've put a lot of effort into it. I'm sure your wife is anxious to get this done, and I know it's hard. So hard times, good learning experiences, and we'll just take the opportunity to help others and get your shower done right.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
How does that sound?
Sounds good. Thanks for the honesty and being upfront rather than trying to fix it.
yeah. Again, putting a Band-Aid on this, I wouldn't feel right doing it. So I'll do whatever I can to help you get this facilitated, to get you a well done shower that you can be really proud of.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, Eric. Thanks a lot again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.